god, I look like shit. Hey guys, so for today's video, I'm gonna be talking about something really interesting. Basically, this is kind of a continuation of a video that my friend Lainey made, so if you want to watch that, link in the description. It's explaining the story of how our friend faked her pregnancy and we were almost on Dr. Phil. Which is really interesting. I'm just gonna start at the very beginning.
Right.
Yeah, right. Ignore this motherfucker in the background. He's staying over, so. Let me get my little list. We're gonna call this girl Lem, because that was the nickname that she went by. I'm not telling you her real name or showing you her face completely. I'm gonna blur things out because she's fucking crazy and will take legal action for no reason for any situation. And I'm not here to get sued for defamation of character, so you don't know who she is, but her name is Lem. I started talking to her probably in like July or August. There was this app called Rise, which is now dead and doesn't exist and you can't get it, but it was a thing. And Lem really liked it, and I liked going on it too. You could go on there and you would live stream and you could drag other people into your stream, and then you could have up to 4 people at a time on the same live show talking and like Skyping, but live. We also would sometimes be a part of the live streams, and we would talk a lot there. So that's where I got to know Lem mostly. Can you not right now? We followed each other on Twitter. We started talking more there. She had my phone number, all this kind of stuff. We were like gonna see each other at Playlist Live, and we started talking more. Okay, so some things started happening in my life that were really frustrating and stressful, and I had kind of spoken about some of those things in a group chat that she was in. So she texted me and she's like, hey, if you ever need to talk to anybody, like, I'm here. And I was like, thank you so much. That really means a lot. I appreciate that. Like, she's texting me and just, like, we started to get very close, and I had a lot of trust in her. At this time, I think she's pregnant, right? Because everybody thinks, most people thought that she was pregnant because she said she was, and there's really no reason to doubt somebody when they tell you that they're pregnant. You really kind of just like, oh, that's really cool, congrats. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Like, hopefully I can meet your kid.
And, disclaimer, sorry, I am gonna pitch in here for a sec.
Yeah.
I obviously ended up getting involved because I'm friends with Lainey and Rain, obviously. I was supposed to go shopping for the baby on Saturday. Had everyone fooled, and I was seriously about to spend money. So basically, like, Lem and I are really close. Lainey and Lem are really close, but as you guys saw, more background in her video, Lem kind of started to treat her like shit, right? And Lem started being a little bit weird with me, but it wasn't something that I was super worried about. She started acting weird up to probably 2 weeks before she actually gave birth, early September. Being a little bit weird, just kind of ignoring my text messages or being dismissive whenever I say something to her, not like dragging me up into her Rise streams as much, and just kind of being weird. I figured, you know, like, she's pregnant, and I knew that she had said she didn't have the best home life and stuff like that, and she was going through a lot, and I just decided, I was like, she's probably just going through shit and she doesn't want to talk, and that's totally okay. I think maybe Lainey and I talked about it a little bit, and we were just worried about her, and we were like, what's going on with Lem? Like, is she okay? She, it was a day that Miss Lemon Drops gave birth to baby Philip Daniel. So, something that you guys should probably know, Philip Daniel, yeah, Dan and Phil. Phil Dan, that probably sounds familiar because they're 2 YouTubers. Now, Miss Lem was a huge fan of these 2 YouTubers. Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of them too, but like, she named her fucking kid.
Named her fucking kid. Yeah, she was gonna name her kid after them. And she told them this at meet and greets. She did her gender reveal at their meet and greet, and they were a part of it. She made them very involved. This day, Dan and Phil did a live stream. I remember what happened. She was like one of the top people who had donated, like, she had donated like one of the top amounts of money to the live stream, and they skipped over her name when they were like shouting out the top fans. And so then after the live show, she goes live on her own account and drags a couple people up, and everybody's just like,
I cannot believe he did that.
And she's like,
I don't even know what to say right now. I don't even understand why they would do something like that. Phil just hates me so much.
I got dragged up and I was talking about it, and I was trying to give it, I'm like, I think this is probably an accident. Like, I don't think they meant to do that. It was probably an accident. Or maybe they think that you get noticed too much. Because this motherfucker, like, they shouted her out all the time. She constantly got tweeted by them. She constantly got like her tweets liked by them. She got enough attention to feel validated. Like, I don't understand what the issue was. She was freaking the fuck out. A couple hours later, you know, after this shit goes down, I get a text from one of my friends that Lem's going into labor. And then about an hour after that, they're like, they figured out.
Ow! Philip Daniel.
A couple of, like an hour or so later, they're like, guys, we figured out why Lem went into labor. It was stress induced. And then everybody's like, she was so concerned that Phil hated her that she went into labor.
For what?
She literally, she tried to say that she fucking went into labor because she was scared that Mr. Amazing Phil didn't like her. So this 22-year-old woman, right, so she gives birth. Don't worry, I'm not making fun of people with mental health issues because I'm depressed and anxious and I have both of them and I've been diagnosed, so shut the fuck up. She gives birth, right, and then she's posting pictures, blah, blah, blah. And then she's ignoring me and Lainey. Lainey really wants to meet the kid. She's trying to make plans. Lem canceled on her like 3 times. And we're just talking. We're showing old baby pictures like this. Just having a nice night. And then Lem went live and we were like, oh, let's go watch it. She wasn't loading in at first and it was this photo. And Lainey's like, Rain, doesn't that look a little bit weird? I was like, okay, yeah, it does. And I look at it closer and I'm like, okay, yeah, that looks weird because that didn't look like Lem's body. And Lainey's like, Rain, do you believe Lem? And I was like, what do you mean? Because in my head I'm like, she's been really fucking weird lately. And yes, it's been weird, but I'm thinking it's just my anxiety. But Lainey's like, do you believe that Lem had a baby? And to comfort ourselves, we started to look at some of the photos and stuff that she had taken. They made us feel even more freaked the fuck out because they didn't look right. And then we started looking at all of this stuff and we're like, these photos are photoshopped. We started looking back at other things that could prove that she did have a kid because we didn't want her to have faked her baby because this was somebody that we trusted and we were close to, and you know, we didn't want to think had manipulated us and lied to us just for their own benefit. We're looking through all this stuff and then we see that when she was supposedly 20 weeks pregnant, she didn't look like she was 20 weeks pregnant. And we looked at more details and then Lainey's like, I know the hospital. That she told me she gave birth at this hospital. And we're like, why don't we call the hospital and just see if anybody under her real name is staying there. So I call and I'm like, hi, so my name is Rain and I'm calling to see if my cousin is still staying there. She, this is the hospital that my aunt told me she gave birth at, but my aunt's phone died and I don't have my cousin's number, so I don't really, like, I can't get a hold of them. Can you just let me know if she's still staying there? And she's like, oh yeah, of course, just give me the name. I gave her 4 names. I gave her Lem's real first name with her real last name that we knew was right. And I even gave her, so Lem's real last name also kind of sound like there's another name that sounds almost exactly the same. So I'm like, maybe the nurses fucking put it in wrong. So I gave her 3 spellings of that, and then I gave her real first name under the baby daddy's last name. She looks it up and she's like, nobody under any of those names has been here. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, if it was in the emergency system or something, like if she was having her baby. And she's like, you said she gave birth here? And I'm like, yeah, she like had her kid here. She's like, we don't deliver babies. And bitch, when I tell you, that was like the craziest fucking thing. I was like, no, okay. And I'm like, are you sure? She's like, yeah, we do not do deliveries here. And I called Lainey and I'm like, Lainey, and then I told Lainey what happened and she's just like, fuck it, because we didn't know what the fuck we were supposed to do at that point because we're like, she's lying. Say hi to Lainey Falls. Sorry, we had to take a little break. Anyway. So, oh, I completely forgot to introduce these 2 wonderful characters. So Lem had these super close friends. We're gonna call them Laurel and Yanny. So
I made these names.
She didn't tweet much until Lainey and I decided to try to figure stuff out when it came to her boyfriend. So her boyfriend, we're gonna call him Jake. We're gonna call him Jake, but his name isn't Jake. But I'm not telling you his real name because I don't think that he knew anything about this. And I don't think he had anything to do with this. And I feel actually really fucking bad for him because he doesn't, I don't think he knows. I was like, because we knew his name. She told us his name. I decided to message him and say, hey Jake, hey Jake, I want to send a gift to Lem for the baby. I'm like, can you send me your apartment number so I can send a present for Lem and the baby? And then I woke up and his profile wasn't loading.
I was like, that's a little bit weird.
And then about 5 minutes after I noticed that his profile wasn't loading, I got a text from Lem that said, hey Rain, we need to talk, and I think you know why. And then she was super mean to me. She was just really mean to me about it. She was like, okay, well you should have asked me, and that's really weird, and I have issues with that, and that's like not okay. Why would you like ask Jake about that? Like, why would you do that? She obviously knew that me and Lainey had found out, which is why she started treating us differently, because she knows we're not dumb. So then obviously this bitch is faking it. Lainey and I were on Skype one day, and Miss Lainey Falls was very sad, and she was really upset, and she was crying a little bit, and she like was just, she felt really shitty. We go through humor, and I was like, Dr. Phil would love this. Like, he'd think this is so funny, and we were joking around about that, and I was like, why don't I just send it to Dr. Phil? Because like that'd be funny. Like, haha, I'm gonna submit it to Dr. Phil. Here's what I submitted to Dr. Phil. So I did it, and it was a joke, and we didn't think about it. And then about a week later, I got an email, and I'm like, okay, that's definitely not a thing. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I get an email, and it's like time sensitive. So then I read it, and it's from Miss Suzanne. Yeah, so she emails me, she's like, send me more information, and film a little video explaining it. So I did, and I sent that, and I was like, okay, cool, here you go, Suzanne. And then she's like, I think we can help you out with this story. Like, we want to put you on the show, so can I call you tomorrow so we can get more information, and can you send me everybody's contact information? It's the next day, and I'm about to get a call from the fucking producer of the Dr. Phil show. And I'm sitting in my house by myself. I was alone. I like just happened to be home alone, which is really convenient. My dogs are outside, and we're just waiting to get the phone call. And I like posted this on Instagram, and Lem liked it, and I was like, oh, she has no idea. And we're talking. She's like, yeah, hi. So we definitely want to put you on the show. We would fly you out this Thursday. And then she called me on like a Sunday or something, I think. And I'm like, yeah, we'd fly you out on Thursday. And then on Friday, you guys would like have the day to do whatever. On Saturday, we would get some extra footage like with the crew outside. On Sunday, you guys could like do whatever. And then on Monday, we were meeting up with her. And on Tuesday, we were filming the show. So like she had a plan set up for when we were filming all this shit and when it was all gonna happen. Like, it was actually in place. She's like, yeah, we'll be filming the show next Tuesday if Lem agrees, and we can fly you out. Everything's paid for. Like, we'll put Lainey on separate flights from Lem, and like we'll get you guys like whatever hotel rooms you want, like if you and Lainey want to be in the same room or whatever. And I was like, yeah, okay, that works. Lem was gonna get a phone call later that day, and we didn't know what time because the producer didn't know what time she was gonna call Lem. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna call Lem a little later today, and then I will get back to you. I'll send you an email and we can talk about how that went and whether or not the show's gonna happen. And I was like, all right, that works. So in my brain, I'm like trying to mentally prepare myself for being on the fucking Dr. Phil show, you know, just chilling for the rest of the day. And then Lem she tweets something. I knew what happened. Like, I knew the producer called her because there is no other reason that she would have said that right then and there. So then, I go onto her live stream on my spam account, and here's a really pixelated and like slash blurred screenshot from her live of her very obviously upset. She was talking about how these two people that she won't name yet, but when she does, they're gonna get exposed, and these two people set her up. And this producer from the Dr. Phil show called her, and she answered, and she was like, yeah, no, you have the wrong number. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know. And then first of all, she lied about that shit too. The producer emailed me and said that Lem didn't even answer the phone. So first of all, Lem fucking lied about answering and saying she had the wrong number, which is the dumbest thing to lie about. Like, this bitch is probably a compulsive liar. She's like, these people are psychotic, and I'm gonna expose them, and they're gonna get what they deserve. And she's just like being so aggressive and fucking intense about the entire thing. And I'm like, these people have no fucking clue. And I'll be honest, I don't think I should have done this, but it happened, and I'm gonna be honest about it because people make mistakes. and I'm gonna own up to my mistakes. I made an account anonymously on Twitter. I made the thread and I tweeted it and I put it out there, and I started following a bunch of people that I knew. They knew who she was, and I started DMing it to some of her friends on that account, and people saw it. Lem knew, and she found out that it was me, and she calls me, and like, I broke the fuck down, and I don't know why, but I think I was just like really hurt about the entire situation. And I hate talking about this, but like, I literally spent that entire phone call, which was probably about 20 minutes long, sobbing while she just screamed at me. And after that, I kind of didn't, like, I was fucking distraught and I didn't know what to do. So I went on Twitter and I admitted to it, and I said I put up this thread and I was wrong, and I just talked to Lem, and her baby's real, like, she told me all this stuff and I believe her now, even though I didn't really believe her. But I like felt inferior and I felt shitty and I felt like I was the one in the wrong. I have never been in a position where that many people were against me in my entire life. Because people, it was like a cult following that she had. People worshipped her, like, for no reason. She loved the attention. Like, whenever it was her birthday, she literally said that she had a whole week for her birthday. And people had, like, Lem Week and their display names on Twitter. And it's like, she had, like, a cult type following. And people worshipped her. And then whenever I did something against her, all of those people turned on me. Some of them were my friends that I really trusted, and they immediately just turned on me, and all of these people were just like attacking me. So one of Lem's very close friends was on Rise, and Lainey went on there, and this person basically saw that Lainey was there and then got really fucking pissed off, and then said, you better hope that I don't see you at Playlist because I'm gonna kick your ass, and started threatening Lainey really aggressively, yelling, being super rude and disrespectful. And then that's when I snapped. I was like, you do not threaten my friends like that. That's fucking bullshit. I'm talking about the night that Miss Laurel threatened Lainey, and then I went off. Would you like to give your perspective? Because you were there.
I was there. I was literally on her couch. Okay? And then Miss Laurel saw her username pop up, and then everyone started commenting, Rain's here, Rain's here, Rain's here. And she said something along the lines of like, why the fuck would she join my live? She's just trying to start shit back up again. Everything was finished, everything's done, but yet you fucking ruined everything. And she was screaming at the top of her lungs, and then didn't she drag you up for about 2 minutes?
She did.
She dragged you up for 2 minutes and then ended the live, or like dragged you down or something.
And then I left.
And then you left, yeah. Laurel was an adult, correct?
Yeah, she's like 20 or 20 something.
Yes. I started like breaking down, okay? Which obviously like this situation has nothing to do with me.
But it's fucking overwhelming and stressful.
That it was stressing me out that much, I can only imagine what Rain and like Lainey were thinking at the time.
It's so fun. So she called, and I like was talking to her on Skype, and I'm like, listen, Laurel, like you cannot threaten people. That's really fucked up. You cannot threaten people. It's not okay. I don't care if you disagree with me. Can we put that aside for a second? And she just would not listen. She's like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
She wouldn't let her finish.
And I'm like, please just let me talk.
She wasn't yelling at all.
I wanted to scream at this bitch.
She wanted to scream so much, but she realized that she had to be the bigger person in the situation.
And then I went off on Twitter, and I literally, in all caps, I just started fucking going off. I was like, first of fucking all, this bitch, and I name dropped her, Laurel. I was like, Laurel fucking threatened to beat Lainey up at Playlist, and that's not okay, just because she's defending Lem. And you know what? Lem faked her fucking baby, and she did. And she didn't send me a birth certificate. Lem started telling people she sent me a fucking birth certificate. No, she didn't. Yes, then I went off on Twitter, and then I ended the thread with a photo of me going, and then everyone turned onto my side. People turned onto my and Lainey's side again. We were doing okay. Like, Lem even started a rumor that Lainey was racist because she wanted to take attention. Like, this was before Lem left social media. She wanted to take attention away from the fact that she faked her kid. Oh, and then Anthony Padilla found out. So obviously Dan and Phil found out that this bitch faked her pregnancy. So Lem, you wanted attention from Dan and Phil and you wanted love from them. I hope you're happy because now they know that you lied to hundreds of people, manipulated your best friends, and lied to them and faked a whole fucking child.
Bingo. And she's like, yes I am. And I'm like, so
It's so fucked up, and it just shows how awful this human being is and how crazy this situation is, and it's just like...
Isn't that gonna set the fucking alarm on?
Okay, so I don't know how long this video is. I know it's definitely longer than my usual videos. I hope that I answered some questions. If not, I'll happily answer things in the comments. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my second channel if you want to see my covers and original songs and things like that are coming up. Link is the first one in the description. And yeah, I will see you guys soon. This is fucking crazy. Bye!